Alright, in this video I wanted to address negative exponents, okay, because when we simplify or we evaluate problems with exponents, you'll typically see directions that say make sure your answer doesn't have any negative exponents. So I want to show you the pattern here. Okay, so if you have, let's say, a number b, we will raise it to a negative value. We'll say negative n. All you have to do is you're going to write the reciprocal of this number here. So, or I shouldn't say reciprocal because things could be different. So instead, you're going to write 1 over whatever your base is. Okay. So notice how our base is here, and now it has moved to the denominator of a fraction with a numerator of 1. Now, we are also missing something else. We need this exponent here. When you do this change, when your base becomes the denominator, that gets rid of our negative exponent. So what we have in the bottom here, in the denominator, we now have b to the nth power. So let's take a look at some examples here. I'm going to talk about this more when I get to our quotient rules, because that might give you a better idea, but I wanted to show you some examples here first. So let's try 2 to the negative third power. When I evaluate this, right, I need to write my 2, so create a fraction. My 2 goes in the denominator, so right there, just like that. Okay, a 1 goes in the numerator, and then of course our exponent is now going to be positive. So I now have 1 over 2 to the third power, and this is something I can evaluate. 2 to the third power is 8, so my final answer is 1/8. Let's do another one. We're going to do 16 raised to the negative second power. So again, your numerator is 1. Your denominator is the same number as your base. Just like that. And then your exponent is now positive. And then, of course, we evaluate. So our final answer, 1 over 256. There we go. Let's try an example with some variables here. What if I had x raised to the negative fourth power? Well, the process doesn't change. Your numerator is going to be 1, and you're just going to copy your base. So our base is still x, and then our exponent is no longer negative. After we make this change, it's no longer negative, it's positive. And this is our final answer. Okay. But, Mr. RG, what happens if you have a negative exponent in the denominator? Ooh, good question. Thank you for asking that. Let's take a look. What if you had, let's say, 1 over 2 to the negative third power? So what you're going to do to move backwards, right, we are going to make our base here, this is going to be in the numerator. The 1 is now in our denominator. I guess we are taking the reciprocal. Let me look into it. Don't quote me on that just yet, okay? All right, and then our exponent, because we made this switch, it is now positive. So we evaluate. 2 to the third power is just 8, and 8 over 1 is just 8, and there's our final answer. Okay, and then I wanted to show you guys that that same example but with variables. So if you have let's say you have 1 over x to the negative 6. Remember, our base comes up, so our base remains the same, nothing's changing there. Because we've made this switch, our exponent is no longer negative, it is positive. And so our final answer here is x to the 6th power. And there's a basic intro to negative exponents.